What is up, y'all? Today I come to you with a little arts and crafts project. I am finally running low on my hair oil and I thought this would be the perfect time to try out a new recipe. There was just no way that I was going to make this hair oil without sharing the recipe and showing all the process. The herbs that I used for this hair oil are herbs that I have been dying to make a hair oil out of for a long time now, and honestly I don't know what has stopped me in the past. I knew I'd eventually get around to it, so I am just like super excited to share this recipe with y'all. I thought it'd be kind of fun since this is the end of the year to do a length check as well and just kind of like document my hair growth process just to see if there is any significant hair growth between now and I want to say maybe like 6 to 8 weeks. I want to give it 6 to 8 weeks. I don't want to make any wild claims about hair growth in this video, but I've seen so many people praise the impacts and benefits of these herbs that I'm about to use today, so I thought it'd be fun to see if I see any significant difference. That's not really my goal per se. I really just want a solid hair oil because it's what I use for retwisting my hair, and I know for a fact all the herbs that I'm going to use have a lot of great hair and scalp health benefits, so I don't doubt that they have the power to make my hair grow faster. But to be honest, I feel like when people claim like super fast or amazing hair growth, I think it just always gives cap. It always just feels like an exaggeration to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm a non-believer, who knows? But all I know is I am so excited to make this hair oil today, so let's get into it. Okay, so there are a couple locks that particularly stand out to me. I'm trying to find her. I put all my hair. Oh. Yeah. Okay. So here is a lock from the back of my head. She is just one of my favorite locks. She is solid, evenly sized throughout the entire lock. She even still has a little curl to her. I just think she is so cute. So we're gonna measure her today. I actually just washed my locks, so they're pretty hydrated and probably as long as they could possibly be at this current time, just because there is still a little bit of moisture in them. So if we're not counting the little curl at the end, she is 14 inches long. If we do count the curl, she is 15. So I'm just gonna say 14 and a half. I feel like I am so blind to how long my hair is. Every once in a while I'll look in the mirror and I'll be like, dang, like she's growing. But for the most part, I feel like my hair still looks like when it did when I first locked my hair, when it was just like barely hitting shoulder length. All of these front pieces were like right here in my face view, and it was just a very overwhelming length for me. I feel like I couldn't really do anything with my hair at that time, and it was just frustrating. So I am actually quite proud of how long my hair has grown in the last 4 years. This makes me wish that I would have measured my hair when I first locked it, just so I could fully, I don't know, get some hard numbers on it, but I don't know. I think all it takes, honestly, is me looking back at my camera roll and seeing how much my hair has actually grown. She solidly came out as 13 inches. I always felt like my hair in the front was shorter than my hair in the back just because I had pretty aggressive layers before locking my hair. 15 inches. I think we're just gonna keep it as the first 3 that I measured. So to be completely real with y'all, I actually made the hair oil 2 days ago. I am going to include a full tutorial on how I made this earlier in just one moment, but it would have been impossible for me to record this entire video in one sitting, so I decided to just start with the hair oil just in case. This is what it looks like after sitting for 24 hours. I am literally so excited to try this oil out, and I actually won't be able to try it out until next week just because I recently washed my hair and I finished off my other oils. So I definitely want to try this out after a fresh wash, which kind of works out for me anyways because it means I could document my hair growth at the beginning of the new year in January. So the timing makes sense for me to wait anyways. And I was actually going back and forth on whether or not I wanted to strain this now or wait until January 1st to strain it, and I've come to the conclusion that I want to wait as well. Even though I did let it simmer and infuse for about 30 minutes over heat, the longer these herbs continue to fuse with the oil, the more potent the oil becomes. So I definitely think it's worth the additional week wait. And at that point, I think I will give y'all a little update on how how the hair oil is going. And I'm already planning to have another video come out showing you how I use this hair oil, how I use it to retwist, and just my general routine when it comes to oiling my hair. So definitely don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on that. But yeah, this is what it's looking like. Okay, so let's get into making the actual oil. I am going to do it voiceover style, so if you're watching this, I will provide captions, but I definitely still try to listen with the sound on just because I also want to share a lot of those therapeutic benefits and some other info about the herbs themselves. So just make sure that you're tuned in so you don't miss any of that information. And of course, I will also keep the recipe below in the description for you as well. Cool. Let's get into it. So since rosemary is a vasodilator, some studies show that its ability to improve blood flow boosts the ability of hair to become thick, healthy, and well attached at the scalp. In my opinion, fenugreek is one of the most underrated herbs for hair growth. The seeds contain important nutrients vital for hair growth such as protein, iron, vitamin B complex, and vitamin C. Stinging nettle is another nutrient-dense herb, and although there aren't a lot of quality studies, one study did show that using the herbal extract increased dermal papilla cell growth, and these cells are a part of the hair follicle and regulate hair growth. As for clove, most of the hair benefits stem from their antimicrobial, antioxidant, and anti-inflammatory properties. In addition, clove does contain beta-carotene, vitamin E, and omega-3 fatty acids, all which are great for supporting healthy hair. More often than not, herbal information tends to exist within that gray area between peer-reviewed content, scientific studies, and anecdotal testimonials. For that reason, I did provide some resources below that is a healthy blend of both of these options. Personally, I don't find one to be more valid than the other, but it is nice whenever you can find the believed therapeutic benefits of certain herbs to be backed by science and clinical studies. So if you're interested in reading anything about the herbs, I would definitely check out the description below, and of course, always do your own research. And this is actually a step that I would recommend doing before blending the herbs together because you really only need to target the fenugreek and the cloves. After grinding down the herb, I suggest transferring it to a glass jar or at least an airtight jar or container. And for the carrier oil, today I chose castor oil just because I know that this is going to be an oil that I want to use to retwist my hair. So I wanted something that was a little heavier and stuck to my hair a little more. So this roughly ended up being 1 part herb and 3 parts carrier oil. I like to give the herbs a good mix before putting the lid on and starting the heating process. Some of the herbs like fenugreek will take a much longer time to release those therapeutic benefits. This recipe does include heating up the oil through boiling it, so I would also recommend something that can withstand boiling water, but that isn't necessarily needed in order to make this recipe. It would simply just mean that you would let the herbs infuse for a much longer time, closer to a month if you're not going to use heat. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That is how you make an oil infusion. Obviously, I've been shaking it like crazy, so you can't really see the color necessarily of the oil. The castor oil is significantly darker and greener than it originally was. And because I'm anticipating this to be so concentrated and potent, this is definitely going to be something that I put in my hair probably only once a week. I tend to only oil my hair when I do a wash day, and as for right now, generally I've been washing my hair once every 1 to 2 weeks. One of the reasons I feel like I could go so long without washing my hair is because I do continue to rehydrate it every couple days with distilled water. So I really feel like as long as my hair is staying hydrated and I know that there isn't a crazy amount of buildup or anything that's irritating my scalp, I really just like to leave it alone, especially because when I do oil my hair, I use a very generous amount. So I really try to make my wash days last, and they have been, which is great. But since I am considering tracking my hair growth after I start using this, I think I probably will try to wash my hair at least once a week so I can keep track of how often I use this, and it could be like relatively consistent. I've seen time and time again people praise the benefits that rosemary and clove bring to hair growth, scalp health, and overall just hair health, and so I am super excited to try this out. I already have so many videos on here talking about the medicinal and therapeutic benefits of rosemary and stinging nettle, and not necessarily on YouTube, but I've also extensively talked about fenugreek as well. For me, clove is not an herb that I have a lot of experience with. I have seen so many black girls online talk about using a clove hair tea and hair rinse to help boost hair growth, and the claims are actually insane, which is why I'm a little hesitant to make any claims about this hair oil, but I'm also like super duper excited to see what happens after I use it. Let me know in the comments if you've used clove and rosemary on your hair before. I know rosemary water and Miele's rosemary oil had its moment online, so I know that there is definitely mainstream popularity around using rosemary, but I feel like clove is another herb that is talked about fairly often but just hasn't hit that like star status level that rosemary has, which is fine for me. I am not a gatekeeper, but sometimes the internet takes something and it runs with it, and since these are real life plants, it is never really an amazing thing when an herb gains mainstream popularity, just because it can lead to some very real unfortunate consequences when it comes to not only that herb in nature but also just stock and the ways that people can source these herbs. So maybe clove can just be like our little secret, but let's see what happens. Thanks so much for watching, y'all, and until next time, happy healing and happy hair. All right, talk to you soon. Bye guys.